In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
Woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
We're all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bill Maher didn't just oppose Sunny Hostin, he utterly disassembled her and the whole woke Hollywood spectacle with the precision of a surgeon and the biting humor of a roast maestro. His rebuttal was so impeccably executed, it left the audience in stunned silence. And here's the kicker. Despite both being staunchly left-wing, they should practically be on the same side. Yet Maher has thrown out the woke playbook, making sure Hostin and everyone watching knew exactly where he stands.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Exactly did my hair drop that pushed Hollywood's woke warriors into a full-blown meltdown. And how might this showdown shape the internal battle brewing on the left strap-in? Because we're about to break it all down, and trust me, you won't want to miss a...
Had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left? Watching people protest for an organization like Hamas? That straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently appeared on The View to promote his latest book, and what was expected to be a routine PR stint quickly erupted into a searing verbal showdown. The left-leaning host left everyone, stunned by effectively gaslighting his own camp. No one saw it coming. It was like a backyard barbecue with the woke mob getting grilled. Everything kicked off when Sunny Hostin tried to trap Maher with a pointed question about why he was weaponizing. The term wokeness...
It struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
Hostin believed she was making a masterful move by subtly branding Maher as a hypocrite, attempting to portray him as an outsider, launching attacks on a culture he supposedly belonged to. But Maher wasn't naive. He saw right through her setup, and he had no intention of falling for the woke mob's all-too-familiar tactic of twisting words to trap his opponents.
Not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know. Want to call it the super far left?
Maher's opening move was to deftly sidestep Host's trap by arguing that language is fluid, that a word's meaning can evolve dramatically over time, rather than using woke in its original context. He embraced the definition the Farrell had imposed on it. Hostin probably expected to see him stumble under a charge of hypocrisy, but instead she walked right into his carefully crafted setup. Maher flipped the script, forcing Hostin to fall into the very snare she had...
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for an organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you catch that? Bill Maher, a die-hard leftist, admitted he snapped to attention when he noticed the woke crowd backing Hamas. Meanwhile, these self-proclaimed woke warriors have the gall to criticize Israelis for simply existing. Even as they applaud Hamas's mission for all his liberal credentials, Maher is just as shocked by this madness as the rest of us.
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv. Mm-hmm. a place that has your values.
Most of the women on The View Hostin included would opt to live in Israel over Palestine. Israelis share values that resonate with American culture, making them far more appealing in reality. None of the self-styled woke would choose Palestine with its rigid laws that stifle women's freedoms. Maher didn't hold back, laying bare the stark double standards of the woke brigade. They vociferously criticize Israel while they'd barely endure. A few minutes under Palestine's oppressive rules, the irony was undeniable. Maher spotlighted the glaring disparity in women's rights between Israel and Palestine, and that revelation sent the woke faction into a
women have no, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. There is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from harassment.
The LGBTQ community.
Yes. You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens at best.
Maher landed another searing blow by spotlighting the gender rights gap in many Muslim countries, the very places the woke warriors are so fervently championing. Essentially, he dared Hostin and her crew to hop on a plane and see firsthand how women are. Sidelined at every turn, this was a subtle yet crushing uppercut that left Host and her panel scrambling for a response. They reverted to their classic, "we're just innocent bystanders" line, hoping to ensnare Maher yet again. But Bill Maher isn't one to back down so easily. If they expected him to falter, they were in for another harsh dose of reality.
Concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women. And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin was quick to realize that Bill Maher had utterly dismantled her earlier point, where she questioned why a true leftist like him wouldn't embrace woke culture in a bid to regain control. She tried to paint him as someone endorsing violence against innocent civilians. Her follow-up, coming on the heels of Maher's dazzling rebuttal, was a textbook woke maneuver, aimed squarely at undermining his moral character. When their argument starts to crumble under close inspection, the default move is to attack someone's ethics, but Maher was more than ready for that play. He fired off another salvo that completely disassembled Host and the woke camp strategy, delivering a masterstroke that deserves special recognition.
That's ridiculous, but because it's a and they're defending themselves. Now, this is do you think Hamas needs to be?
Hostin quickly realized that Maher had just demolished her previous argument about why a bona fide leftist like him wouldn't support woke culture in a desperate last effort. She attempted to label him as a proponent of violence against innocent civilians. A textbook woke move where, when their case crumbles under scrutiny, they resort to moral posturing. But Maher was ready. He anticipated the maneuver from a mile away. He fired back with another crushing salvo R, reducing Host's feeble strategy and the entire woke playbook to irreparable shambles. And here's the clincher. Maher's riposte wasn't just sharp, it was a masterclass in countering setups. Pay close attention, folks.
Is the question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we get out with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means. Okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and building tunnels.
It's obvious. Hostin is completely tongue-tied as Ma fires off his blistering tirade, but the show is far from over. Let's see what explosive gem he drops next.
So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that.
But are you
I assume the Israeli
Of
course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop it.
And then it happened. A truth bomb dropped with Bill Maher's trademark, calm precision. Notice how the applause erupted from everyone except Hostin. She was left speechless like a soaked dog shivering on a bitter Friday night. Maher tore into the woke mindset so decisively that even Host's own panel and the typically left-leaning studio audience couldn't help but applaud his brilliance. He knows the woke playbook inside and out, dismantling its absurdities with surgical precision. But wait, he wasn't finished yet. He saved his best shot for last when Whoopi questioned whether the media skewed the news to push a particular narrative. Ma's response was nothing short of masterful. Listen to this.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it.
Yeah.
And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other half.
Yeah.
Once again, Bill Maher launched a scathing attack on the woke agenda, cleverly rebranding it as the narrative of truth. But if you're familiar with the ultra-left, you know that truth isn't really their concern. Their real objective is to force their dogmatic narratives down everyone's throats without a hint of debate. They routinely sacrifice honesty for the sake of convenience, and anyone brave enough to challenge them gets swiftly canceled and erased from the conversation. That's precisely why Maher refuses to jump on the woke bandwagon. It's chock full of people with hidden agendas determined to erode the cultural and traditional foundations upon which America was built. Maher's bold stance sent shockwaves through the room, even winning him a few converts from the right. And did you catch H's reaction during all this? She looked utterly stunned, as if she'd seen a ghost, and was practically desperate to make her exit. Naturally, she wasn't about to let Maher have the final word, so she resorted to a desperate move, accusing him of abandoning his liberal woke ideals. But once again, Maher delivered the perfect rebuttal next.
Old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives, there's still some of those
You've
left.
changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Go ahead.
What are the other two?
Well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest, because this is a word that's triggering. But I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.